Hello everybody, this is Oliver from Neo, and today we are going to talk about different caffeine levels in different drinks. And as I always do, I only compare one coffee versus three green teas. Just to keep it nice and smooth in the Japanese tea section. But before we start, number one, which I will explain about, is actually the coffee. Coffee, as you know, the most favored beverage in the West. We are highly addicted on coffee. It's a very nice smelling product, but today I want to talk about a little bit about the caffeine content in coffee. So I brought you here a typical Arabica blend coffee, so a very nice smooth blend. Coffee in general, Arabica has a caffeine content of around 80 to 100 milligram per cup, or if you even go higher, the Robusta tea, Robusta coffee, there you can go up to around 100 to 120 milligrams. So coffee has in general quite a high caffeine content already. But what is important about coffee is that often you have this energy kick. Some of you might know it also a little bit from the jitters, which you get when you drink too much coffee or when you drink coffee in general. When you get the feeling of this nervousness, a little bit the heart pounding a little bit too fast. So this is something we know from coffee, which you have much less with the green tea. So drink coffee, appreciate coffee. Good coffee can be something very, very, very interesting. But for me, as personally a more caffeine sensitive or a little bit more jittery person, I am actually preferring the effect of green tea with its caffeine linked to polyphenols or the theanine. There this effect is more, but first let me go a little bit into the content. So here we are around 80 to 100 milligrams. Then I brought you two high caffeinated green teas. One is Matcha and one is Gyokuro. Matcha, as you know, is the powdered green tea. I'll show it to you like this. This is a typical beautiful first harvest, high quality, ceremonial grade if you want matcha, and really high also in theanine. Here we talk about 70 to 80 milligrams of caffeine in the matcha, so very, very comparable to the coffee which you can have in an Arabica coffee cup, and even a little bit less for 1 gram. But as always, it's always a question of how you moderate it, how much matcha you put actually into your cup. So if you use 1 gram, you're around 70 to 80 milligrams. If you go on the double, so which is already a pretty strong matcha, there you're around 160 milligrams. So it really depends how you want to do it, how strong the matcha will be. But the good thing about matcha, when you add a bit more and you have a nice tasting, very sweet matcha with a lot of amino acids, it's a very smooth and sweet taste experience, but quite strong then on the vegetal note. But it doesn't get kind of bad or too much. It's just a very more kind of a more intense taste experience. And here with this one here, I always take between 1 and 1.5 grams, so a little bit so comparable or slightly higher. But there is one green tea which is just a phenomenal strong in caffeine, and this is the Gyokuro. Gyokuro, also known as the Emperor's tea. This tea shows a high amount, especially the high grades. They go up to 140, around 140 milligrams of caffeine in the tea. So this one definitely the strongest and most intense in caffeine of the normal leaf teas. So this one here definitely a great morning tea. It's often a tea which is also drunk before sports, or monks before they start a longer meditation can be varied with matcha or really go into Gyokuro. But in green tea there are also lower caffeinated green teas. And if you are really a caffeine sensitive person like me, you are sometimes drinking a Gyokuro, sometimes a matcha, but mostly you would prefer something which is a little bit more decent but still has these nice positive attributes of a green tea. Then you go for a Kukicha or Karigane. Karigane is from higher grades green teas, the stem tea mixed with the leaves, and here we are at the half of the caffeine of a normal Robusta coffee or 1 gram of matcha, so we are around 40 milligrams, 30 milligrams of caffeine. And what's good, this tea has also the same amount of theanine than the other ones in, and now I'm gonna come to the theanine. Theanine is one important aspect when you drink caffeine, because actually what it is kind of a natural stimulant which is kind of tranquilizing, slowing down the pace and giving you kind of a balance. It's called, or it's said that it is good against anxieties, it's good against stress, and it's very, very good when you need to concentrate in combination with the caffeine, because what actually the theanine does, it lowers the effect but all at the same time prolongs the effect of the caffeine. So what happens when you have a high grade green tea, then you have often a shaded with high amounts of theanine, so you have this high kick also of the caffeine, then the theanine is buffering this effect, so it brings it down on a more moderate level, and then you're over a longer period of time than with the coffee where you sometimes have this caffeine crash. Here you really get a smooth downgrading and smooth up and long lasting and downgrading effect of the caffeine, so it helps you really to stay focused and concentrate. And that's why I myself consider the effect of the caffeine in the green tea as better as in the coffee, but that's my pure personal opinion. When you look at the theanine quantity also in a stem tea, here what is good is you have nearly the same amount or the same amount of theanine but much less caffeine due to the fact that you use the stems, and this finally gives you less of the caffeine effect and even the stimulant effect. That's why I feel personally a strong tranquilizing effect of the stem tea on my kind of my being, that I'm really relaxed, and I just had a stem tea due to the fact that it's night here in Switzerland, so I just enjoyed a beautiful cup of Kukicha or Karigane shaded stem tea, which is amazing. Good. So this was a small introduction. I hope you liked this. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Put your comments below, put a like, put a whatever you like to tell me, and I'll be happy to answer you all the questions I can. I wish you a great evening. Have a good one, and see you soon. Bye.